Mukana, ikaupiwa mukana. Mukana, ikaupiwa mukana. Mukana, ikaupiwa mukana. Mukana, ikaupiwa mukana.
Ending a chapter of a novel or closing a season is always pleasant. It entails entering a new season, and the idea naturally adds joy, anticipation, and excitement to our lives, and sometimes it is refreshing. The year 2023 has come to an end. It is that time again to reflect on its memories as we all welcome a new season. The spirit of the year 2023 can never be ignored. It ought to be celebrated by reflecting on the most solemn and touching memories that dominated the year.
Mukana, ikaupiwa mukana. Mukana, ikaupiwa mukana. Mukana, ikaupiwa mukana. Mukana, ikaupiwa mukana.
On the political front, the year 2023 was loaded. For Zimbabwe, it was a year to lower the electorate, a year to win the minds of voters, and a year to sell ideas, policies, and promises. This is the year where Zimbabweans voted in general elections. The nomination court took center stage on the 21st of May, with candidates filing their papers for the elections. What followed were political rallies dominated by ZANU-PF and Citizens Coalition for Change as the main contenders in the race. The political parties, candidates, and party supporters were out in the constituencies and wards, marketing their parties' ideologies, policies, and promises. 23 August 2023 saw Zimbabweans going out in their numbers to cast their votes where best candidates and best political parties were elected. Although the preparations and distribution of voting material was marked by challenges in some areas, the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission made sure that all Zimbabweans were given ample time to exercise their constitutional rights as prescribed by the country's laws. On the 26th of August 2023, Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa was duly declared the presidential winner of the general election.
I, Priscilla Makanyara Chigumba, the chairperson of the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, in terms of Section 110, subsection 3, do hereby declare that Mnangagwa Emmerson Dambudzo of ZANU-PF Party has received 2,350,711 votes out of 4,468,730 valid votes cast, which are more than half the number of valid votes cast in the presidential election. Therefore, Mnangagwa Emmerson Dambudzo of ZANU-PF Party is declared duly elected President of the Republic of Zimbabwe with effect from 26 August 2023.
The declaration culminated in him being sworn in as the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe on the 4th of September 2023, beginning his 5-year term.
I, Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, swear that as President of Zimbabwe, I will be faithful to Zimbabwe and will obey, uphold, and defend the Constitution and all other laws of Zimbabwe, and that I will promote whatever will advance and oppose whatever may harm Zimbabwe, that I protect and promote the rights of the people of Zimbabwe, that I will discharge my duties with all my strength to the best of my knowledge and ability, and a true to the dictates of my conscience, and that I will devote myself to the well-being of Zimbabwe and its people. So help me God.
Members of the House of Assembly and Senate who were elected in August were also sworn in on the 7th of September 2023 at the new Parliament building in Mount Hampden.
That I will obey the Constitution and all other laws of Zimbabwe, and that I will perform my duties as a member of National Assembly, faithfully and to the best of my ability. So help me God.
On the 11th of September, President Emmerson Mnangagwa announced his cabinet. On the 3rd of October 2023, the 10th Parliament was officially opened by President Emmerson Mnangagwa, giving a signal to the beginning of the 5-year term.
Press salute! Present! My distinct honor and privilege to wish the first session of the 10th Parliament of the Republic of Zimbabwe success, and I hereby declare the first session of the 10th Parliament of Zimbabwe officially open. God bless you all. God bless Zimbabwe.
Joy was, however, short-lived for some members of the National Assembly, Proportional Representation and Senate, as Cyclone Sengezo Shabangu followed with recalls. The recalls by the Secretary General of the Citizens for Coalition Change Secretary General were received with mixed reactions, as some said it was an infiltration of the party. Others were saying Triple C is a disorganized entity, while Sengezo Shabangu himself justified the move as cleaning the party.
We are doing a cleanup. We have saying there are people who were imposed. There are people who didn't get the right, who were not representing the people, who never got that opportunity to represent the people, but criminals around President Nelson Chamisa, because of their proximity to him, they violated these principles. They imposed their girlfriends, they imposed their friends, they imposed their wives, they imposed those who lost the election. We can't have a situation where a loser becomes the winner.
The recalls were followed by holding of by-elections on the 9th of December 2023 to fill the vacancies created by the recalls.
Mukana, ikaupiwa mukana. Mukana, ikaupiwa mukana. Mukana, ikaupiwa mukana. Mukana, ikaupiwa mukana.
In an effort to strengthen both regional and international relationships, Zimbabwe attended a number of regional and international conferences, such as the Russia-Africa Summit, 78th United Nations General Assembly, UNGA, in New York.
Mr. President, it is imperative that we recommit to the Charter of the United Nations multilateralism, solidarity, justice, and the peaceful settlement of disputes for sustainable development and a shared future. This calls on us all to respect the sovereign equality of nations, big or small, poor or rich. By working together, we can harness our expertise and learn from one another to strengthen international institutions for the accelerated attainment of Agenda 2030.
United Nations Climate Change COP28 held in Dubai.
Zimbabwe, like many other nations, continues to suffer from the negative socio-economic impacts of increased frequency of droughts, heightened intensity of tropical cyclones, and other severe weather events. No country can adapt to or mitigate these impacts alone. The ambitious emissions reductions expected from developed countries are urgent and critical to prevent a climate catastrophe.
In an effort to strengthen both regional and international relationships, President Emmerson Mnangagwa also made a number of state visits that include the United Kingdom for Prince Charles III coronation, among other countries. Zimbabwe also received presidents and heads of state from other countries around the globe. The heads of state and government who visited Zimbabwe include Mozambique President Filipe Nyusi, President Paul Kagame of Rwanda, President Lazarus Chakwera of Malawi, President Hakainde Hichilema of Zambia, His Majesty King Mswati III of the Kingdom of Eswatini. In 2023, Zimbabwe also managed to fulfill its national events calendar. The National Youth Day celebrations that were held in Matabele North Province under the theme Drug and Substance Abuse, a Threat to Vision 2030, every community has a responsibility.
National Youth Day is an important day for us. Today is our day, so I'm very excited. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, this particular session was an eye-opener. It is becoming tradition and practice of government to engage youth at every turn. As we have listened to the presentations, drug and substance abuse has ravaged our country. No community has been left out, and so we are also leaving no one and no community behind. It's a matter of time. Sooner rather than later, we will be victorious if we remain resolute and focused. Your Excellency, what is exciting me most about today's conversations is the zeal with which the community is coming to the table with ideas and views of what they are doing and can do to end drug and substance abuse in their communities.
43rd Independence celebrations were held in Mount Darwin, with the Eternal Flame roving from Chibondo Memorial Monument to Pfura Stadium, where festivities were held.
And our first more fine demonstration from Basikoro. He was got the pussy and the toilet.
Zimbabwe International Trade Fair was also held from the 25th to the 29th of April, running under the theme Continuous Innovation, Global Competitiveness. Heroes Day commemorations, Zimbabwe Defense Forces commemorations, Zimbabwe Agricultural Show official opening, and for the second time, Zimbabwe got the opportunity to host the International Conference on AIDS and Sexually Transmitted Infections in Africa, ICASA, from the 4th to the 9th of December 2023.
On behalf of the government and people of Zimbabwe, I wish to express my profound gratitude for the opportunity accorded to Zimbabwe to host this very important conference for the second time. I hope you have found the facilities and arrangements suitable for a successful meeting. In view of the growing incidences of epidemics and conflicts, coupled with the negative impact of climate change, this conference is most opportune as it allows us to reflect on our ongoing responses to HIV and AIDS at both the continental and the global levels. The theme and I quote, AIDS is not over. Address iniquities, accelerate inclusion and innovation, end of quote. Is a befitting reminder on the need to remain focused and avoid complacency.
Mukana, ikaupiwa mukana. Mukana, ikaupiwa mukana. Mukana, ikaupiwa mukana. Mukana, ikaupiwa mukana.
On the economic front, 2023 had its ups and downs. The country's economy was not performing above the bar. Inflation and price hikes dominated the year. But thanks to a cocktail of policies and measures that the government put in place to tame the challenges on time. Besides the economic challenges that the country experienced in 2023, Zimbabwe witnessed massive developmental projects taking shape. Others were completed and commissioned, showing that the country was on the right path to the attainment of an upper middle income society by the year 2030. Notable projects during 2023 include the completion of the Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport Expansion Project.
The government realized that as an enabler, aviation takes investors and tourists into the country, thereby contributing directly to the development of tourism, hence enabling economic development. The handling capacity of the current terminal as designed was 2.5 million passengers per annum. The capacity of the improved airport is 6.5 million passengers per annum.
Completion of Bike Bridge border post expansion, Harare Mashingo Bike Bridge road rehabilitation, expansion and dualization project progressing well. Completion of Wange Unit 7 and 8. The official handover of the China-aided project of Zimbabwe Parliament building in Mount Hampden. Geopomona Waste to Energy project groundbreaking. Still on the economy, Finance, Economic Development Investment Promotion Minister Professor Mthuli Ncube presented the 2024 national budget on the 30th of November.
Mr. Speaker, sir, aligned to this thrust, the theme of the budget, this budget, is consolidating economic transformation. The proposals and suggestions from consultations with parliamentarians, the various ministries, we call them MDAs and departments, business, labor, academia, civil society, youth, women, small-scale enterprises and miners, among others, largely informed the priorities outlined in this budget statement. Mr. Speaker, sir, before turning to specific interventions, allow me to put the 2024 national budget in the context of both the global and domestic economic environment. Let me begin with the global economic outlook. The global economy is expected to continue to recover, but unevenly, from the negative impact of the COVID-19 pandemic and the cost of living crisis. The unprecedented tightening of global monetary conditions in response to decades-high inflation levels has slowed the pace of global economic recovery.
The budget was, however, received with mixed reactions.
Analysts who attended the post-budget seminar organized by financial advisory firm Mark & Associates reacted to tax policy pronouncements by the Minister of Finance and Investment Promotion, Professor Mthuli Ncube, as ideal to raise funds in capacitating the country's healthcare system, especially the new tax on sugary beverages.
And we need to start investing in our health sector, in our health infrastructure, in a way that addresses the current health concerns, key being sugar consumption. It's got ramifications on our the health of our population. So the alignment of a tax that is aimed at funding health infrastructure instruments such as the health machines like the cancer treatment machines, I think it's quite commendable.
Economist Mr. Brains Muchengwa said the policy reforms on beneficiation of minerals and the new tax on mining assets disposal is fundamental in increasing revenue and maximizing return on mining resources.
Taxes that have been introduced on the disposal of mining assets or mining rights, I think that's a progressive statement, because what has been happening all along is that most of our assets are being sold abroad with little or no tax benefits for Zimbabwe as a country when these assets get traded on foreign stock exchange. So definitely what it means is that we're going to get benefit from the disposal of our local natural endowments.
Financial expert Batanai Matsika noted that the budget was very noble, particularly on realities around domestic resource mobilization.
If you're looking at the tax enhancement measures, especially when you're looking at the need for traders, SMEs to formalize, there's need, of course, for a balance, but the government was looking at ways of also capturing value out of the informal economy, which according to different estimates is quite huge. So basically the tax enhancing measures are reflective of the structure of the economy itself.
This Thursday, Finance and Investment Promotion Minister Professor Mthuli Ncube unveiled a 58.2 trillion Zimbabwe dollar budget that introduced the new taxes to enhance the country's domestic resource mobilization to sufficiently fund the national development agenda.
Apart from politics and the economic front, the year started on a bad note. Some of its ugly scenes are still etched in the memories of many, especially the people of Wedza, where a former Zimbabwe Republic Police Criminal Investigation Department officer, Jason Muvevi, allegedly killed 3 people within a period of 5 hours.
Agara kumbera akangoti gare chinguwa chididi achibva asimuka achibva adzokera kumota. Paakadzokera kumota ndokudzoka. Paakadzoka akangosvika futi akapinda akaenda kunzvimbo yekumberi iyoyo. Achingosvika kumberi ndopaakanongedzera futi pana silage. Padhuze na silage haana mborova ari kure. Yakanga yakatomuguma ndokurova trigger silage. Silage achidona mapostoresi akangopererwa akashaka kwakashaka kana anomubata nokuti anga ari mukati mevanhu. Vanhu vese vakashokeka. Amai vacho ndopa vakatanga kushedzera kuti naiwe wamupfure silage. Silage ane mhosva yei? Ndozvavakadedzera. Saka vakadaro vakabva vaita kunge vafenda. Iye ndokuchiuya zvanzi amai musadaro achivasimudza endai kumba. Amai vacho pavakasimuka ndopa akabva adzokera kumota kwake ndoko akatanga kufamba pichana achitendera zvake achiita zvaaita zvese izvozvo.
The year 2023 was not spared from road carnages. Some of its sad and horrific scenes, as well as headlines, are still etched in the minds of many.
Ndanzo merekurira esiyapanya watakunofushira diani watungamira diani wafunga natichenesera nzira hazvitedzembe nyama zvinotidzimba pakati pehana chokuita hapana vava kungomirira mhere yamangwana munotifudzire nepanorwadza moyo munotifudzire kune nzira iyo
The country also lost some household names and veterans of the country's struggle in 2023. Musician Gary Mapanzure died in an accident. He was laid to rest in Masvingo.
So lost without you. The time you said walk on deep, I tell baby girl the onel. No, don't let go. I would
Musician Terry G died at a local hospital and was buried at Zororo Cemetery in Chitungwiza.
Terry, I can feel my temperature rising.
Cricket legend who won the hearts of many when he played for the Chevrons at the peak of his career, Heath Strick, died after a long battle with cancer. Highlanders and Warriors legend Raman Gumbo died in Botswana and was laid to rest at Lady Stanley Cemetery in Bulawayo.
The football fraternity has been plunged into mourning following the death of one of the country's illustrious footballers and coach Raman Gumbo, who passed on just a week before 60th birthday on Saturday. The Gumbo family is equally heartbroken and shattered.
Latisi njengosasho ndoda latisi matolo nzima, but as a family sichayekile kakhulu ngokuthi lo ngoye umntwana wethu besi khangelele kuyizinto ezinengi and kuhamba wakhe kusishayele kakhulu.
Born Raman Alan Tutani Gumbo on the 18th of November in 1963, the legend, who was known as a Dr. Rush in football circles, was renowned for his coaching prowess. Raman's remarkable career began in the early 90s, where he started as a football player at Eagles Football Club before moving to Highlanders, where he spent the better part of his footballing years. Dr. Rush also played as a midfielder and appeared for the national team alongside fellow legends such as the Ndlovu brothers, Adam and Madinda, and Benjamin Konjera. In 1992, Gumbo was a part of the Warriors, who by then were known as the Dream Team, a side that claimed a historic 4-0 victory against South Africa. Raman also scored in that match. He then ventured into coaching, recording successful exploits spanning over 2 decades and clinching a number of championships with many notable clubs in Zimbabwe, Botswana, Malawi, and South Africa. Back in 1999, Gumbo returned to Highlanders as a coach, winning the Premier League titles back-to-back till 2000. He also had stints with the Caps United, FC Platinum, Tar1, and South African National First Division side Witbank Spurs. In 2005, the Gaffer was appointed to the managerial position of the Warriors, but was subsequently relieved of his duties following a 3-0 loss to Nigeria before bouncing back in 2012 and 2019 separately as an interim coach following Sunday Chizambo's resignation. Raman Gumbo then relocated to Botswana, where he was appointed manager of Botswana Premier League club Gaborone United before returning home to coach Chicken Inn 2 years later. Hardly 3 days after parting ways with the Botswana outfit Morupule Wanderers, Gumbo tragically collapsed and suffered a heart attack at his home in Botswana on Thursday. Medical efforts to resuscitate the 59-year-old proved fruitless, and Gumbo later died this Friday.
Former Dynamos and Warriors goalkeeper George Chigova succumbed to a heart problem in South Africa. Chigova was buried in Chivu.
Football and fans are like 2 peas in a pod. One cannot do without the other. Some call them the owners of the game, while to others they are simply the 12th man. Chigova had a special relationship with the 12th man when he turned out for Dynamos and the Warriors before he moved to South Africa. That bond has remained strong even in death, and as Chigova's lifeless body arrived at the Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport in Harare this Wednesday, the 12th man was there. It was an emotional atmosphere as multitudes turned up for one last dance with the Jojola.
Ndaimufarira aibata bhora zvinonakidza kuti haina musi akandifarira papeni yekubf pakati vana madzagarai pasi vakati hai wanotaura chiko chimwana chidikichi akaibata mpiro stand takafara.
He was a star. He was professional. Saka we are so sad kuti tarasikirwa nakipa wedu.
Tanga rikipa wataitemba naye senyika seclub tarasitirwa zvisingaite ende tiri kuchema chiguva wedu.
Ndiye anga ari umwe wedu atati chivimba naye chiguva taradziwa zvikuru sei totarisa age yavamwe wedu ndio nguva yanga achitotanga kusumukira chaiyo ndo nguva inotamba vamwe vake kutoratidza kuti munhu ndowebhora zera rake yanga achiri mwana mudiki.
Chigova's funeral proceedings will see a memorial service being held at Rufaro Stadium this Thursday before his body is taken to Aces Youth Soccer Academy in Waterfalls, where he honed his skills before the big clubs came knocking. The 32-year-old former Dynamo's Polokwane City, Supersport and Warriors goalkeeper is survived by his wife Nokutula and 3 children.
And national heroes. In 2023, High Court Judge Justice Munamato Mtevedzi handed over death sentences to Tafadzwa Shamba and Tapiwa Makore Sr., who gruesomely murdered Tapiwa Makore Jr. in 2020 in Murewa.
Gogo Biula is the spokesperson of the family kubva patakatanga nyaya iyi kusvika nhasi. Mutongo wapiwa vaviri ava uri kureva chii kwamuri semhuri?
Tazvigashira asi chakangooma chekuti nanhasi hatizive kune musoro wemwana. Nanhasi hatina kuudzwa kuti musoro wemwana uri kupi. Taigashira judgment sentence yacho taigashira asi zvakangooma nekuti nanhasi hatizive kune musoro wemwana uyu.
2023 was also riddled with measles and cholera outbreaks. On the sporting front, 2023 had its own fair share of successes and losses. Zimbabwe hosted the 2023 International Cricket Council ODI World Cup qualifiers ahead of the World Cup that was held in India in November. The historic cricket Zim Afro T10 League, which is the fastest form of cricket, was launched in Harare. The Zimbabwe senior netball team, the Gems, participated in their second Netball World Cup that was held in Cape Town, South Africa. Zimbabwe hosted the Rugby Africa Sevens tournament in which 12 countries participated, and these include South Africa, Kenya, Uganda, Zambia, Namibia, Tunisia, Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria, Algeria, Madagascar, Burkina Faso, and the hosts. The Warriors played their World Cup qualifiers in Rwanda.
On their return to competitive football after an 18-month suspension, the Warriors failed to unlock stubborn wasps in their own backyard. Although the Warriors looked solid, they failed to create clear-cut chances, with a few that came their way being squandered. Earlier in the match, striker Admiral Muswe seemed to lack the required physicality to wrestle the Rwandan defense after being sent through by Marshal Munetsi. Substitute Terence Zukamanja, who replaced the injured Muswe in the 23rd minute, was also put through twice but failed to get the decisive touches in the first half. The second half saw the technical department introducing fresh legs in strikers Tino Kadewere, who is best in France, and the Blower Chiefs Aubrey Chirinda, the top goal scorer in the Kasolaga Premier Soccer League. However, the two strikers failed to provide the impetus that was needed, and the match fizzled out to a goalless draw as the Wasps of Rwanda also failed to cave out chances. Having conducted just 2 training sessions with the team, head coach Bautema Brito is satisfied with the draw.
We come here with some of the players with 2 training sessions. There is players that play today that they arrived during that day. So we didn't have too much time to prepare this game. Even without too much time, we did well in terms of requesting. But one thing is request, another thing is practice every day and developing the plan. So we come here, we collect 1 point away, 1 clean sheet. So this is the positives that we take forward.
The Warriors will be back at the same venue where they host African giants Nigeria on Sunday. Meanwhile, Nigeria hosts Lesotho this Thursday in the other Group C match, while South Africa take on Benin on Saturday as the first round of matches comes to an end.
Mondoro-based Ngezi Platinum won their maiden Kasolaga PSL title, popularly known as Madamburo. Ngezi Platinum had to wait for 8 years since their promotion from Division 1. Football legends Dynamos ended their 9-year trophy drought when they beat the Kasolaga PSL champions Ngezi Platinum 2-0 to win the Chibuku Super Cup. The year 2023 also saw a number of artists releasing new songs and albums. And they are Ja Praiser, Chiremerera. Enzo Aishal, Chiza.
Power. Riri mumtsinga rino flower. Kuna kugadzirwe simbi ne flower. Kana siri hero mero dai zira sawa. Unogona kutofenta. Ikaunta, unanda kamounta. Shami inorova ngoma center. Jemashua, kwete zveku experimenta. Shami yabuda iyo yakuya. Wagadzirira here yakuya.
Jema Ndichatarisa. Holy 10, Ucharamba Uchipisa.
Ucharamba Uchipisa. I receive, Gary Baba, I receive. Baiti pisa, Baba, baiti pisa. That's why you sweet. That's why you sweet. Ucharamba Uchipisa. I receive, Gary Baba, I receive. Baiti pisa, Baba, baiti pisa.
Saint Flo, Ndega Handigoni. Julian King featuring Saint Flo, One by One, One by One.
One by one, one by one, you and I one by one, one by one. Aye.
2023 came. We lived every moment and witnessed every day as it came. As we say goodbye to 2023, we carry all the memories and look forward to 2024. Let's do this again together.
Mukana, ikaupiwa mukana. Mukana, ikaupiwa mukana. Mukana, ikaupiwa mukana. Mukana, ikaupiwa mukana.